Okay, hi guys. So I'm going to be doing a new series on the now World War III Team Yankee American book. So we've gotten our copy and we're going through it. And I was thinking and looking at some of the comments online and what you guys really wanted to see. And I think what you guys want is a list building for the Bradleys and the new toys. So I thought I'll do it this time now instead of just by myself. I'll bring in our local player, Jerome. So, Jerome, thank you for joining us.
There. Thank you for having me.
This is going to be a 4-part series. So, the first video is going to be a list building, and then the second video is going to be on some things that you may have missed out with the book, and then the third one will be the AA umbrellas that you can now currently get in the new book and what options a US player would take, and then finally we're gonna do a RDF light tank should you spam it. So we'll do all those things. Mostly they're going to be 5-10 minute videos. This one might be a little bit longer because I think there are a lot of things that a lot of new players and a lot of people might or might not do for their list building. And I think let's have Jerome take us through his process for doing those things. Yes, I'm wearing the Firestorm striped shirt. It's not the World War III American. I haven't got that shirt yet, so when they are, I will get it. So, Jerome, what are your thoughts on the book so far? Just
Right. So, what I feel about the new American book, it actually opens up a lot of new options to play the Americans. You have a couple of new formations, which actually bring a lot to the table, like your Black Motor Platoon. I believe Ben has covered that in a previous video.
Yeah.
Yes, and he has found them very, very strong. Would you say that?
I actually, for me, I know you have got a European based army and then you've got a desert based army, and I cannot wait to see them in the desert based army because that will give me a lot of Black Hawk Down vibes.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's for me. But
Yeah.
other than that, I mean, I think point for point, if you're looking at it from a competitive point of view, the larger the platoon, the more staying power you have, and for 9 points, you were getting 10 stands. So that, or was it 10 points? You're getting 10 stands.
No, 10 is 10 points, 10 stands. So it's 1
Yeah.
point per stand.
Yeah, and then you've got your 10 Humvees, which are 30 rounds of MGs free at 4+ to hit. You can't complain. You can't complain. And they're not unarmored. If they were unarmored, I would understand that. They're not unarmored. They're 000. So that's going to take actual firepower to destroy, and that's going to be a problem.
Right, so also a lot of new nice toys with very high AT. I believe that I'm pretty sure most American players, including myself, where we had the initial stripes, we had a lot of problems dealing with tanks. Because our highest AT was the A10 with 27 AT, but you need to call him in on a 4+, which
That's right.
personally for me wasn't a problem, as Ben can attest that. But it's very unstable for what it does. So most of the time you'll bring AT21, which, to be fair, is not very good against NATO tanks. If you're talking about competitive scene, if you face NATO tanks, you will have problems, especially against now the Challenger, the Leopard 2s. Even then, you will have problems with those. But with the new American book, you have no lack of AT, low AT. You have AT23 almost everywhere.
That's true. Can't argue there. Okay, so I think what we wanted to do today was the Bradleys. So why don't you take us through? Before we get there, I'm just gonna put up right now a force chart, the force diagram. This is inside the new book. take a look at that, and what do you think of the new force chart? Any big differences that you want to point out to the viewers when they start building their own lists?
Right.
I
So the
know
new force
the-
chart.
Hmm.
I don't think a lot of people realize, but I did mention this before. You can actually bring now 2 M109 platoons in support instead of 1. So 2 for the Marines and 2 for the Army, depending on which one.
Yep.
So that's a very interesting development, because now you actually have a choice to bring 2 platoons of M109 should you choose, which frankly quite overkill, but there's some people who really like the M109, so I'll just leave them to that.
Okay, sure. I think that's fair.
Yeah, and also the Left AD, which is the new A option, which we'll get to in another video, but that actually takes over the Stingers, which is kind of a bummer, to be honest. I was expecting it to take over the slot for the Bats and the Sergeant Yorks, but it's not
Okay.
all that bad. It's not all that bad.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
that's the only down point, but it's not that bad.
You've also got your MLRS, so that gives you 3 artillery platoons. Can they all bring minelets?
Oh yes, they can. And it's the same ruling as the British, so each battery fires a 2. And your mines counts as 2 for 1 battery. So if you bring 2 MLRS, you are shooting as if you have 4 batteries of mines.
You mean 4 guns?
Correct.
Which means you can put 2 minefields.
Yes, with 2 MLRS. If you have 3, it'll be counted as 6 guns firing.
But 4
Four
and
mines.
6 are the same
Are they?
because it's divided by 3. Yeah. So 6
Oh.
would still be 2.
Yeah. So for me personally, this is a
Wait,
bit of context.
You don't bring 2 MLRS or 3, right? You bring 2 or 4.
2 or 3. For Americans, it's 2 or 3.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so that means
For
it'll be the same.
for the British, it's 2, 3, and 4.
Oh, look, the British. So the British are gonna come up a little bit, guys, because the British are the only other book that have been brought up to this timeline. Other than that, everyone else is still in the 1985 timeline. So a lot of the tech that you're gonna see for the other books is still in that point. For the British and the US is what has moved forward. So the comparisons we make in this video probably would be against the British for most of
If you guys want to get any of the things that are in this review, please do check us out at blitzminis.com and pre-order any of the products which you think are going to come out with the Americans. Let us know down below if there's anything you are looking for in particular. Thanks.
All right, so let's jump into it. So how do take us through, guys? By the way, Jerome has won a local tournament before, so he is a champion. Jerome, take us through it. What do you look for first when you're building a list? Do you look at the formations, or do you look at the support and see what you want to take? You know, do you focus on AA first, or do you focus on, you know, tell us, bring us through your process so that I know how to beat you next time.
Well, actually, for me, I will look through at the unit I actually want to bring. So, in this case, let's say for this purpose of this video, I want to bring in the Bradleys. So right now, I want to focus my formation around the Bradleys, but I need to take into account things that I need to face and what I need to beat in order for this list to work. So the Bradleys have a very good missile in AT-23. They're
Alright, so
very,
I'll
very good at
just put up the Bradley right here so everybody can see it. So these are the platoons now. They're 15 points for the full and 10 for the small. And on the left hand side, I'll put up the formation here. So the formation does look kind of light. Doesn't look like it's got your normal ITV back component.
yes. That's actually because your Bradleys take up that component.
All right, that's
The
because your
ITVs
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Go ahead, sir.
in the original mech formation, they needed to have the ITVs because they did not have anti-tank.
But you had your
things.
dragons, which were so powerful.
Oh yes, how many times have they not killed anything?
Okay. So you're looking at this formation chart. Do you just start picking things from here, or how does it work?
Right, so first of all, I need to see the formation-wise, how would be feeling it, how my personal preference of play is. So for me, while I do not really like too much infantry, which is contradictory because the next list I'll be putting up actually does have a fair bit of infantry, but it's much lesser than if I played Marines or the other infantry heavy list. So Bradley's is actually a good combo for me because it actually allows me to take lesser things, but at the same time have about the same effectiveness as I would have. Because previously, we'll have to take the mech formation, AV formation for my autocannons and for the Lav AT, which was my ATGM.
Okay.
Yes. So now if I have the Bradleys, I do not need to take those things anymore because it's all in one formation. So I do not need to worry about formation morales. In the case that I really do lose all my lefts, and can be quite an easy task because it's very unforgiving for the lefts.
So let's just go very quickly, guys. For those of you who haven't already seen it, this is the M2 Bradley transport. It's armed with the TOW-2 missile, which is a very similar guided missile for the TOW platform, but instead of AT-21, it's now AT-23. It comes with the LAV Bushwhacker gun, which has got ROF 3-3. So on the move, it's still firing at full effect. Anti-tank is 8, firepower is 5+. So it's also anti-helicopter, and it has a stabilizer, so it can actually move 14 and fire into the side of tanks. However, I think at 88, Jerome, correct me if I'm wrong, I think only maybe the Chieftain would be scared of that. I don't think anybody else has a lower armor than that.
You mean for the side armor?
Side armor of MBTs, yeah.
Yes, you are actually correct.
Maybe the Leopard ones, but you know, who really
Yeah.
cares about Leopard ones? You could shoot them from the front with most things. So tell us, Jerome, what do? Do you take the 2 black boxes? You take 3? Bring us through the list building. What do you do next?
Alright, so first and foremost, you have to think about how you want to actually play your force. So if you are actually going to play a defensive list, you're going to play a maneuver or an attack list, this must first come to your mind. How do you want to play your list? So for me, I am thinking of a maneuver or an attack list because that actually is what I really want to play. So let's go through. You realize that it's 2 points for both the Commander and the Bradley, and you have an option to add 1 point to up armor it. But however, I'm not going to do that.
Not for the HQ, yeah. Right.
Not for the HQ because it seems to me it's a waste of points. To be
It is.
fairly honest.
Yep. No, that's fair. Okay. So yeah, go ahead. So then looking at black boxes, 2 full platoons.
Yes, 2 full platoons because you can't risk having smaller platoons. Don't forget that the Bradleys are infantry attachments, so if you lose your infantry, your Bradleys will run. Which is the same for the warriors as well. So do not forget this point.
Ah, okay. Alright, perfect. So you'll bring 2 full platoons at 15 points, and are you gonna up armor them?
Yes, of course, because as a maneuver and attack, I won't be seeing deep reserves ruling so often, so I'm pretty safe to take those options to
Okay.
up armor them.
Alright, let's move it along.
Yes, I wouldn't be taking the third platoon because we are currently playing 100 points. Not until at least the Soviets get that book, right?
Well, we can do 120 guys. Once the lockdown is over, I'm pretty sure we're gonna want to bust out these new toys and get them on the table. So if we can, we'll definitely do it. Okay, so yeah, two Bradley platoons, both up armored, so 16 points each.
So that comes up to 32 for the
Yep.
for the Bradleys alone. And we come to the tanks, the support tank.
You're
So-
at 34 because you have your HQ as well.
Ah yes.
Yeah,
So
okay.
now the M1s. Oh boy, this one. As much as I am very tempted to take the M1A1,
I think everyone is.
yeah. But for 100 points, I don't think you are able to take it properly because it's going to dilute your list. Even if you just take 3 M1A1s, it's going to hurt your list a lot. So I will advise actually taking IPM ones instead.
IPM
Why?
ones, so the same old front 19s. Okay,
Yes.
explain.
Well, FA19 for now is still a pretty decent value because not a lot of things have any AT above 21. Yeah, just think about it for a second. How many things have AT 21 other than Evans? Let's say the British. They have the hot. Is it a hot missile? Or what's that?
The British don't have the hot missile now. Who has the hot missile? The West Germans have the hot missile. The French have the hot missile, and the Iraqis have the hot missile.
I guess the Iraqs will probably be the bigger threat because they actually can feel quite a fair bit of the hot missiles. But in general, you won't be seeing so many of them. And all those things we mentioned are ATGMs, unless they're in ambush, you are able to avoid them pretty well.
That's true. But the Gazelles can't be dodged so easily. The Gazelles are Iraqi.
And also, while the IPM one only has the AT-20 gun, the IPM one is not to kill the other tanks. That's going to be for your Bradleys in this case, with their missiles. So
True.
that cannon is actually meant to kill all the other things that are not a tank.
And this is an
Examples.
integrated platoon, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
It's integrated into the... Right, so you can see here that you can't take patterns in this formation. Because at that time, the Bradley was not meant to roll out with the pattern.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah,
that makes
so
sense.
that's the reasoning why you don't see the pattern in this formation. You only see the normal M1 and the M1A1.
Can you bring the HC?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
And I'll move on to artillery options because as a maneuver attack list, you will need some smoke. So I will bring 6 of those to actually 6. Oh, 6
Sorry,
for
you're
6
bringing
points.
4 IPMs, are you?
Yes, 4. So that's 36 points.
All right, so that brings us up to exactly 70 points.
Pretty expensive formation, but one that's not likely to break so easily if you play it properly.
Okay, sure. All right, and then
So-
your mortars are 6 points for 6,
6 points for 6.
so 76 points.
So yeah. And now we go on to the now out of the formation there's only 2 boxes left. I've taken almost everything other than the third Bradley formation, which is the 2 scouts.
Right. So do you take the scouts? Do you not take the scouts?
I'll take one MM3 scout actually. That will be up armored.
You mean
M3.
the M3, yeah, the M3.
Yes.
Okay. The M3
The
up
M3
armored.
out armored. Well, this one is kind of under the radar actually. What I believe is actually one of a very strong, annoying option. One is scout and spearhead, I believe.
Yep.
That's right. I can't really remember.
Yes, yeah, it does. It has Scout and Spearhead.
Yes, Scout and Spearhead. So
Just
what
one
you can
point.
do is this unit can actually go behind enemy lines after deployment and just wreak havoc on the enemy's plans, because they can't use MGs to kill it effectively.
One thing I want to point out is that it has Scout, it has Spearhead, and for some unknown reason, its Assault is actually 4+.
Yeah.
Yeah, rather than 5+, which the infantry are. So for some reason, it's 4+. But its counterattack is 5+, as most Scouts are 1 worse. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So because the Up Armor Bradley, it won't face any problems with MGs, so BTRs can't even kill it. They can only barely hit the side on a 1. And so your enemy has to use either ATGMs or hand cannons to actually kill it.
Or
Which- Or RPGs, yes. So what this entails means that if you're threatening a bad line, like the AA or whatever, they have to shoot it, kill it with some of the heavier duty weapons. Which means it's not shooting at the things that is actually coming for them.
True.
Other Bradleys.
Okay. All right. So one of these at 6 points, so that puts you at 82 points. So we're coming to the close now. What else do you have for us?
Right, so I'm done with the Bradley formation actually. I'm going on to the support options.
Okay. All right. So what are you taking for support? You have
I have 18 points left. So I'm not comfortable with having just 2 infantry platoons, as I mentioned, so I'm bringing a 3rd infantry platoon. And that will be a black box support M113 Mac formation. Large one, so that's 6 points.
Okay. All right. So you're at 88 points, 3 infantry platoons, and 4 IPMs. All right. Not bad. And a decent artillery unit. Yep. Go on.
My video is breaking up a bit.
Okay.
Right, okay, sorry. Let's carry on. So
Yes. So you're at 88 points.
M113 Mac. Yes. So next I need some AA.
Okay. So you've got quite a few
Yeah,
options now.
Yeah. For this list, as I am having just IPM ones, not just, but they're not the core of the list. They're actually more the support for the Bradleys. So I'm just bringing 4 LAV ADs.
Just the new LAV 80. So anyway, guys, I'm putting it up on screen right now. This is the new LAV 80. I did cover it slightly in the last one. It is a multi-purpose AA, dedicated AA unit. It has both the Gatling guns for close air support as well as the Stinger AA missiles.
Yes. Interestingly, that the LAV AD actually has the same range as Sergeant York. And it has 1 higher AT than the vets.
Power creep. Sorry, what? Okay. Yeah, no. I think at 8 points for 4 of them, that's a decent price. That's a very decent price. What did the labs cost? Oh, sorry. What did the Yorks? Yeah, what did the Yorks cost?
Same points actually. 8 points for 4.
8 points
But
for 4. So
yeah.
the added missile doesn't increase the points.
Yeah, apparently, right?
But you only can fire 1 whenever there's AA, so I kind of understand that. It's a bit more multi-purpose, but you can still only do 1, guys. So remember, you can't fire
Makes it
all your AA weapons.
it actually makes it more what to put it? It's very, it makes positioning of your left AD less punishing for many.
That you can have it at the back and fire up.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
And also because on your defensive AA turn, you could fire maybe just your gun against the Hinds, or No, your missiles against Fort Foods. Let's say they bring Fort Foods and Heinz in a single list. It's in
Okay.
their turn, and the cannon can fire on the Heinz on your turn.
I'm also realizing over here that the Lev AD air defense platoon is firstly it's a marine component, which doesn't really matter, just as a point of interest, and the assault is still 4+.
Well, I guess you can't beat the British when it comes to assaulting.
No, but I'm just saying that. I mean, yeah, you can't. But I'm just saying that isn't it weird that the infantry carrying vehicle, the one that's supposed to actually be in the front lines with the infantry, has got an assault of 5+, whereas all the other these like support vehicles have an assault of 4+. Seems weird to me.
Well,
Were your Lev scouts, were they assault 4+ or 5+?
I have to check. I can't really remember.
I'm sure it's in this
I
book
actually
somewhere.
did the left.
Let
Yeah, I'm
me-
pretty sure they didn't remove it.
Let me just check this real quick. Where is the Lev? Oh, wait, it isn't here. Oh, it is.
It's under the marine one.
Lev Motar section and Lev platoon. Oh, it's assault 4+. Alright, that's fine. So it's the same. So I guess if you have 8
I
wheels.
guess the marines have Marines just have a better assault.
Okay, alright, so how many points are we at now? 86? No. 86.
82 for the
82 for the formation. Then you have got your
So it's
platoon
two-
at 88, and then
32
you've got
plus.
another 8, so 96 points. So you've got 4 points left.
So I'm for that 4 points. I'm actually going to bring a black box Humvee scout section, and this is a very important thing to know when you're building your new list. For the new American list for tow tools, if one of your units have a tow tool, everybody has to take a tow tool. So you cannot choose to mix your tows.
You cannot choose to mix your toes. Ah, okay. Alright, so that means basically if you're playing in that timeline, all the toes have to be from that timeline.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so your company couldn't have had a partial upgrade. Everyone needs to be on the same page. Okay, alright. So I think we're here standard now at 100 points. One thing I always like to consider, and I don't know if you do it, Jerome, but always consider what would be in reserve if I needed to be in reserve. So you've already rightly pointed out that you wouldn't have to face any kind of deep reserves because in attack or maneuver battle plans you don't see those. So what would you do for normal reserves at 40%?
You see the list. There's a reason why I actually took the scout, the Humvee scout, for this case, because if I put the IPM one and the Humvee scout, it actually adds up just nicely to 40 points in a 100-point game. So those two will be my reserves.
Right. Any reason you choose to put the tanks in reserve?
Well,
What's the thought process behind it?
a reason why I've decided to put the Humvees in the reserves is because, well, they can actually move and reposition themselves quite well, but they're not such an important point in my game should they not be able to shoot, let's say in that case. For the IPM ones, it's quite an obvious choice because before deployment, if you come in from reserves, there's a very high chance they are likely to do something when they come up from reserves and start shooting everything.
True. I do like this list. I think it's got a little bit of artillery for the smoke, also for harassing infantry on the way in. These mortars that you've brought are also 80. No, are they 81 or 82? These mortars are not 120s, right?
No, they are not. They are still the same 106. So
106.
they are They are still 82 to top armor and firepower 4+.
Okay, so they're not the monsters that the West Germans can bring at 3-3 and the 120 MMs. Okay,
Nope.
okay. So still pretty good, but they can fight smoke bombardment, so that's always great. And you're always going to be playing attack with this list.
Depending on my opponent. If my opponent is bringing a lot of infantry, I might actually choose to play maneuver instead, because forcing infantry to move is really not what your opponent wants to do sometimes.
Okay, okay.
Unless
Alright,
it's by
so-
siege.
What is your weak point to this list? Tell your future opponent so I know how to beat you.
Sorry, I didn't catch that part.
Sorry. Not again. So tell us what is the weak point of this list.
Alright. So the weak point, some things you need to take out of is that your infantry in this list is same as the Mech infantry original list. The weakness from there is still evident here. Your infantry is still the weakest part of this list. And that there's quite small size, 7 stands each platoon, so any unlucky rolls that you might get will eventually be quite bad for infantry.
Okay.
And be aware that because we are still using the laws, the AEW's weapons,
Mm-hmm.
they still get run over by tanks.
That's true. That's true. I am aware of that. Okay, so that kind of brings us to the end of the list. Is there anything else you want to bring out to the viewers so they know about?
Anything else? Anything else about the Bradley? Well, if you ever decide to use a Bradley in defense, then do not armor any of them. That's all I can say.
Fair enough. Fair enough. It is 2 points for the whole platoon, or is it 1 point? 1 point. It's 1 point.
Yeah, same for the warrior. If you did not choose to add any Milans, then it's going to be 1 point to out armor all the warriors.
Okay. Alright, guys. So that kind of brings us to the end of our first inaugural episode of our review of the book. So I've done one list on the light motor rifle, and I think this one here is about the Bradleys. We're going to be doing a few more series. A lot of them are going to be a lot shorter than this one. Just going to really bring you into some very, very specific parts of the book. And here in Singapore, we are still on lockdown. But once we end in a while, we are probably going to do a game with Jerome and I don't know if he'll bring this list or he might bring something else, but definitely it's gonna have the new American. No, sorry. So before we go, anything else from you, Jerome?
Nothing else. Just stay safe, and I'll see you next time.
Alright guys, so thank you all very much for watching this video. If you do like it, subscribe, and if you want to see anything else, let us know down in the comments below. Until next time, stay safe, and every toy soldier needs a general.